All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol CTRM, Castor Maritime Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all the first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to the channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all the subscribers, welcome back. And as we jump into this chart, I do want every single investor and viewer to be aware that I have a new ticker symbol that you won't want to miss towards the end of this video. Now, this ticker symbol is new for the first-time viewers and investors that have subscribed recently and so forth. But I've talked about it twice in the last 2 weeks for all the subscribers and viewers that have already been watching my videos previously. Now, in the last 2 weeks, it's already 2x, and in the last several months, it's already almost 10x. So I really want every single viewer and investor to stay tuned and not miss out on all the information for this chart. And I have a few questions for you guys on how you feel about this ticker symbol towards the end of this video. So stay tuned for that. And I look forward to see your guys' responses. So here we are with CTRM. Castor Maritime Inc. has ran up, broken through resistance, and it continues its momentum. Now, the 50-day moving average is catching up to the price, but the price continues to hold itself up. And we're seeing this actually rise up in a pretty healthy manner, I would say. And let me state why. So before, this was actually a crazy run, dipped right down, and then it kind of consolidated in a sideways movement around the 60-cent range. And we saw this go up and kind of go sideways, right, on the 5th. And then it jumped right up, and it's gone sideways, right, for almost 2 days with the jump and the sideways movement. And now we've jumped up, and we're going sideways. So the question is, could this consolidate in this area and not pull back drastically in the downward direction and hold itself up above $1? Or will this actually start to work its way back down, get broken through the 50-day moving average being above it, and the up in bearish territory and giving leverage to the bears? That's what we want to look for moving forward. We want this to consolidate within this area as long as it stays above $1. Now, if it can continue to pull up this bullish trend, breaking through resistance, even better for the stock. But at some point, it's going to have to cool off, right? So we need to watch it carefully. So here we are. Our support is 103. To be exact, 103.38. If that gets broken through, we have a small window between the 50-day moving average down here at 95.17. Let's see if I can land exactly on it. Yeah, it keeps jumping around. But 95.17 is our 50-day moving average. Anything above that, we're in bullish territory. Anything below that, we're in bearish territory. So if this breaks through support, we want to watch how this is reacting between 103 and 95 cents. And see if the bulls are trying to reappear and bring this back up, or are the bears tearing this one down fairly fast. Super important to watch and keep in mind moving forward on how this stock is reacting within this area. Now, for the bulls to continue their momentum, they need to break through this resistance, and that's 113.09 to be exact. I just rounded down to 113. That needs to be broken through and turned into a support by the bulls to reach newer highs and new resistance levels. Now, the highest point reached in the day was 116. So if the bulls accomplish this, their next goal is 116. They need to turn that into a support and pull further and further away in the upward direction to continue this momentum, pull further away from the 50-day moving average, and reach itself up to newer highs and new resistance levels. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watched this video. Stay tuned till the end, because the ticker symbol I'm about to share with you guys is definitely one you don't want to miss, and you want to have it on your watch list. Stay tuned. So for everyone that has stayed to this point in the video, the ticker symbol I'm about to share with you guys is a reiteration of the previous stock graphs and also where the stock was and where it's at now. So I think this is the second time I talk about this one in less than a month, and I really want every single investor and viewer to be aware of this one, especially the new coming investors and subscribers. I don't want you guys to miss this one. And for every single subscriber that missed it in the previous videos, if you're having the chance to watch it now, I really want you guys to be aware of this company and do your due diligence and do your research and further digging to understand this ticker symbol and the potential moving forward. So The ticker symbol is CLNE, right? So let's go ahead and pick it up here. Let's see if it pops up. Clean Energy Fuels Corporation. Now, in less than a month, it has actually risen, right? From about $10 all the way up to highs here of almost $19. That's almost 100% gain. But let's just go ahead and say it from $10, right? Forget about the $10.45. We talked about it before that. We talked about it right here at $10.998. So $10 to $18.70, that's 87% gain. Okay? And there's so much more room still for this stock. This stock has been growing exponentially over time. I know that when you look at it, you're like, oh, well, there's going to be a point where this is going to drop. Well, we went through one of the massive drops right here after it took off where I was talking about it. This was the first time I went ahead and mentioned it, January 22nd. And I said, okay, we might see it cool off and go a little bit lower. We want to look for some consolidation, and then it can start to hit newer highs. Well, it took off after that, soon after, and it hit 12, came back down to 10, and a lot of investors already saw 12, and they said, okay, 12 is possible. So now we need to get to 12, and we need to break through 12. Well, that certainly happened. It brought itself right back up, slightly above it, brought itself back down to 12, and now it took off to 18. So the question is, could this go ahead and consolidate up here? Could we see this pull back somewhere in the middle of this? That's totally possible and healthy for the way the chart has been acting to this point. I want every single investor to be aware of all these consolidation periods and runs up. These are very healthy signs of a growing stock, okay? So it's clearly showing that. Now you have to do your due diligence and research, because now we're talking about it again at its highest point. We've talked about it at one of its highest points here when it was at 10, and it had recently hit 12, 11 and some change. So it was still showing signs that there could be some room, and analysis ratings were also looking pretty good. So now we've hit new highs. So analysis ratings need to be reiterated and upgraded. And then we also need to see for consolidation or a pullback, but obviously not coming back down to 12, somewhere in the middle. And if it does come back to 12, may it consolidate in 12, and then from there on out, hit newer highs and new resistance levels for this stock to continue this exponential growth. But the potential here going into the year and the coming years is phenomenal, and there's so much room here for this to continue. But from January 22nd till now, 87% growth is pretty phenomenal and interesting to me. So I wanted to go ahead and ask those of you that have found out about this since the first time I talked about it to this point, how have you felt about the graph? Did you add this to your watch list? Have you kept it on your radar? Did you add it to your watch list but disregarded it? All right, I want to ask these questions to you guys. All the viewers coming across this for the first time, I would encourage you to go ahead and do your due diligence and research. And just by looking at the graph, how does it make you feel? Do you see that this can continue to run? Do you see a pullback and consolidation? But the way it's been acting, do you think that this can repeat itself, right? But onto newer highs, like beyond this. So like if we were able to copy and paste this, but starting off at 18, can you see this type of distance and growth getting attached here beyond the next coming months and also year? So I wanted to ask that question to you guys, because that's what you really need to think about when you look at a graph, right? What is it acting like before? And could it repeat that same process moving forward to newer highs and new resistance levels? Obviously, the volatility of the stock market is always going to exist. There's been up and downs throughout this whole process. But if it can continue doing that behavior, there's room here for this to continue to probably 2x from where it is now, because we've almost 2x from where we talked about it in just weeks, and it's actually gone ahead in 9x, right? Almost 10x from way down here, these lows in November. So very interesting stuff. I wanted to ask that to all you guys that are watching, every single investor and viewer. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.